We may or may not be back at RSC getting some more carbon fiber. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for pressing play. Today, we're at RSC, like I said in the beginning, and we're going to be getting some more carbon fiber. Let's take a look at what we're doing today. So those actually come out relatively easily, it looks like.
There's a strip of adhesive like across the top here.
Oh, there is.
But
okay.
The deck lid's warm because you've been driving.
Yeah, so it comes right off. So
it's
mostly just
like,
screws.
It's not like tape, it's that foam.
Oh yeah. So pretty obvious at this point what's going down, but stay tuned. So these are actually held in with screws. I don't know why. I assumed these were 3 individual pieces. I should have known better. So they're actually held in with screws on the back. These will be transplanted over to the new pieces, which we'll see in a second. But ultimately, if you guys haven't figured it out yet, we are finishing up the rear hatch area. So the entirety of the area around the rear glass here will now be carbon fiber from RSC, of course. So we're going to be getting into a little bit of a project with removing the glass, because you do have to remove the glass to change out this bottom panel here. But the side panels and the camera cover you could do without removing the glass, which is what a lot of people do. But you know how it is. I don't really like to do, you know, half measures here.
No more half measures, Walter.
We want to go all carbon or no carbon. So we're doing all of it. I'm going to show some of the removal of the glass. It's not pretty from what I understand, and it's not something that most of the time you're not going to want to do this yourself. You're probably going to have a glass person do it. In this case, TJ is the glass person. So yeah. So for now, popping the mirror cover off, which the new one is a total replacement, of course, so not a cap. Anyway, guys, this is really kind of the last piece. There's not really any other carbon fiber I could do, even if I wanted to. Maybe a hood, but I'll be honest, if I ever change out this hood, I don't think I would leave it exposed carbon. I would probably paint it. Either way, that's what we're doing. Let's take a look at the parts, because these things, as usual, are just a work of art. I mean, look at this. Look at the weave on these things. And of course, that's going to match all of RSC's other parts as far as the weave is concerned. So these two, that, and then in here is the panel that will go underneath the glass. We'll get to that in a second. But again, all very center weaved, looking OEM and beautiful. So once that thing pops off with a lot of clips, you then just got to disconnect the camera, if you have one, of course. I guess you could be doing this on a Stingray 1LZ that doesn't have that. I know those became mandatory at some point, but lots of clips, and they were on there pretty good. It looks like it, what, 5-6 clips? Definitely on there. Not going to come off. And then again, the carbon fiber replacement here. Look at that, just beautiful. You can see on the back side here where the stock clips will pop into. Yeah, just beautiful. You can see obviously carbon fiber through and through. I'm always impressed when I see this stuff, because there's a lot of not good carbon fiber out there on the market, and when you see the good stuff, it looks that much better. 2 little screws hold the camera actually into the housing. So a little pad here to prevent, I guess, vibration of some kind. So removing the lower panel under the glass is really just held on with these screws here, or I guess they're nuts. So once those come off, you could take that panel off, but the problem is you can't get it out around the glass. So you got to take these screws off and then ultimately take the glass out. At this point, pretty much anything on the car that was carbon flash is now carbon fiber. So obviously we replaced the mirror caps with carbon fiber. We replaced the boomerangs here with carbon fiber. The spoiler, of course, carbon fiber, but that could have been carbon flash. My stock one was. The rear diffuser is carbon fiber instead of carbon flash. And the only real area left of carbon flash is around the rear hatch. And I don't mind carbon flash typically, but I don't love the way it looks on black, because obviously it's like they're almost trying to compete. Like you got black and then carbon flash, and carbon flash kind of looks like almost a gray against the black paint. So I would prefer it to all be carbon fiber, and that's what we're doing here. So like I said, obviously all the trim around the glass is going to be carbon fiber when it's all said and done. And this is obviously parts that RSC does sell. So if you guys are interested, I will link it all down below, of course, but all of the carbon on this car at this point is RSC anyway, so if you wanted to make your car look even remotely like mine, you're going to be shopping at RSC. So obviously Z07 high wing with the 2-inch risers, the GTZ diffuser, which of course gives it those real nice diffuser fins, and that ridiculously awesome profile. I mean, look at that thing. That's so freaking, so good looking, and it fits like OEM stuff. So then other than that, of course, we got the GTZ side skirts as well, which are the full length side skirts. They're not the 3/4 length. It goes the whole way back the side of the car. And the carbon fiber boomerangs, like I mentioned earlier, which are full replacements, not stick-ons. The mirror caps, again, replacements, not stick-ons. And then the Z07 front splitter and dive planes or canards. All of this stuff from RSC, all of it, beautiful quality, all center weaved to match OEM stuff. Really, really looking good. That hatch is pretty much the last piece of carbon here we're going to be doing, and it's going to kind of finish up the whole package. Like I said, on the rear glass here, all of those nuts have to come off, which looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can see them up there. You take that off, and that piece is now ready to come off after the glass comes out, which of course is going to be a little bit more of an undertaking than most do-it-yourselfers are going to want to do, specifically because afterwards you also have to glue it back in, which is where something like this comes into play. So obviously we want that glass to be on there just as strong as it is from OEM, but it does have to come off to get that part there off. If you were ever wondering what the rearview mirror camera looks like outside of the housing, first step, got to unplug the defroster lines, because obviously this glass is coming all the way out. So right now he's taping this up to help with whenever the new silicone goes on, I guess. I don't know, is that silicone? It's something like that. You guys saw the bottle earlier, but taping it up just to make sure that there isn't a mess. He's going to use a wire here, this wire, hard to see on camera, but basically this is like a cutting wire. He's going to go in between the glass and the stock silicone or adhesive on there to basically separate it from the hatch itself. That way we can pull that glass completely out. Like I said, not something for the faint of heart, but of course if you took it to a glass place, they're going to be able to do it for you, which is what I would recommend. I think that's what TJ said too. Like, you should probably have somebody that knows how to remove glass do this, because this could get kind of crazy. While we're waiting on that to get all taped up, we'll show you the Z06 RSC car, basically the car that they're using all their parts on and to display / develop new parts. So obviously they have all the same stuff, boomerangs, full length side skirts, mirror caps. He did not put on the Z07 front splitter though, just the splitter, not the dive planes. So there is a difference between the two. You have to, the Z07 specific splitter has a notch right here in the front for the canards to fit into. This one doesn't have that, but it is RSC'd out, obviously. So pretty much everything else. They did redo the bumper here, so they got a Z07 bumper to put that wing on with. They do have the GTZ diffuser. Looks good. Obviously, I'm a fan. Other than that, this is Bill's Porsche GT3 as well. Really cool looking car. I think that's maybe chalk. I can't remember the color of it, but it's really a nice looking spec. Kind of like, instead of blacked out, this one's kind of like grayed out. And for you Porsche fans out there, RSC actually does make some carbon fiber parts for the Porsches as well. So check that out. You gotta love the attention to detail. Definitely nice to see. So yeah, in case you guys were wondering what your back end of your Z06 would look like with the stock exhaust and that GTZ diffuser, there you have it. The AWE tips I have on my car are a little bit bigger, I think ½ an inch bigger each than the stock tips here, so they fill out the back end a little bit more. So if you wanted to know, that's what yours would look like versus if you have an AWE system. They're definitely bigger in there, and mine are also pretty dirty right now, so other than that, you can see the difference there. You also gotta love when you see this. That's how you know they're doing a lot of Corvette stuff. the jack pucks are basically installed on the lift itself. So once you got the wire in there, there's a little handle that goes on the other end, so you can kind of like work it back and forth to cut through that stock adhesive. And I'll link that tool down below if you guys are, you know, brave enough to do this yourself.
We're almost to the pin. Real good. Real good. You got it? Yep.
So there it is. Window is out. Over on the stand here now to clean up the edges here. Basically, got to get off most of this old stuff to put a new layer of the new stuff on to hold it in place. So we got to get it off the glass and most of it off of the car itself. But this thing can pretty much lift straight up and off now, so that's pretty much all the glass. It has to come out for that part. It's unfortunate that that wasn't designed just slightly differently, where you could slide it out underneath the glass, but I guess it is what it is. So, like I said, next up, clean up this edge on both sides of the window itself and on the car. Oh, a little bit of tape too. There it is. Well, really just two tiny pieces of tape on the corners. It's pretty interesting. Adhesion promoter for the little bit of double-sided tape that is on there. All that glass removal for that. Yeah, it's worth it though. That looks a lot better.
It's a nice piece.
Yeah, it is.
You would never think.
Yeah, if GM would engineer it just slightly differently, you'd be able to get that out. It's pretty crazy. Put those, what, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws or bolts back on, or nuts. 8mm. Like I said, after the glass is off, this is pretty easy apparently, but this thing, not making things easy. And not that anybody's going to do it necessarily for this specific reason, but there is a weight savings to be had here. It is, I would say this carbon fiber piece is about half the weight of the stock one. Same with these ones. These weigh next to nothing. And then the stock piece down here, yeah, maybe even less than half. I don't know. Pretty cool. Obviously, this amount of work for the slight savings of weight you're getting here is not worth it just for that, but the look is cool too. And we're not adding weight, so yeah. all glued up, ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and put that back in place. And we're almost done with the glass part of this. Like I said, the carbon fiber pieces in here, I mean, it just already looks a massive amount better. Definitely the way it needs to be this way on black, in my opinion. If you don't have a black car, maybe not, but this looks better either way. Plus, like I said, we're dropping some ounces here because this is definitely lighter weight, even though that's not why we did it. It is a selling point. Not the selling point, but a selling point. You might as well put the stuff on the car that drops the weight, not increases it.
So basically the locator pins
Or everything here. Yep, you're good on this one. Look at that. Stock carbon flash, 1.3 pounds?
Yep.
Wow, that's a lot heavier than I thought. And then the carbon fiber piece. Yeah, half a pound. So almost a pound less per. That's pretty crazy. Bolting in the mesh on the backside here. Just comes right off the factory unit. Bolts onto this one. Just 3 screws per side. One there. And then 2 at the bottom for holding this mesh in. Then once you put it on the car, these ones here will be kind of sandwiched in between, so kind of helps hold it in place as well. Stock mirror cap, 0.8. Carbon fiber, 0.5. So still saving some. This whole thing is going to save about 2 pounds. Yeah, same exact stuff on the back too. Carbon fiber camera bezel in place, center weaved right down to that center weave, down to that center weave, down to that center weave. So all matching very nicely. And then of course the last piece is the bezels for the sides as well that we just put the metal mesh onto. But yeah guys, it's gonna look friggin' awesome. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Oh, you gotta love carbon fiber. So this, you said this comes with smaller screws?
Yeah.
Shorter, I mean.
Some shorter ones.
Okay. And that's what's gonna hold on the carbon fiber trim we just put on. So just tighten those in and then we're basically ready to go.
The next day.
All right guys, so here it is. The starter pack folder, which I've filmed this a couple different times, but inside here is 3 different certificates of authenticity, basically, because of the 3 new carbon fiber parts that I got here. So the car's all cleaned up thanks to TJ. He got everything installed, and here's the final look at the beautiful carbon fiber. So we got the side panels, the replacement camera lens area, and then of course the under glass panel as well. So again, kind of trying to get rid of the carbon flash look. There's really only one thing left that's carbon flash that will not be for long, and that's those vents right there. Other than that, we're done. I mean, I don't think I could add more carbon fiber to this car if I tried at this point. So we are all good. Now, he's actually installing something we'll check out in a second. But basically, like I said earlier, I have the Z07 wing with the 2-inch risers, the GTZ rear diffuser, the full-length side skirts, the boomerangs here, and then of course the mirror caps, which are replacement. They're not just stick-on caps. And then the Z07 front splitter and side canards. So this is efficiently a Z07 car at this point with one thing remaining, and that's the suspension. But stay tuned. I have a fix for that too. So ultimately, this is basically a Z07 with all RSC carbon fiber. And if you haven't seen it in person yet, I'll be at the Bash this year, of course, with RSC. But I mean, this is what you're going to see. Just absolute perfection. And I know anybody in the business hates to use that word. And I appreciate that they hate to use that word, but it is just so close to perfect. I can't help myself. I got to say it's perfect. So it literally looks amazing on these cars. I mean, look at that. That's what we came out here for today, and yeah, just perfection. I don't know how else to say it. It all goes so nicely on the car. Like I said, not a big fan of carbon flash on the black exterior, but we have fixed that. So again, we got this, which is just fantastic by itself. All of these certificates in here, which will allow, you know, if I ever chose to resell any of this stuff in the future, I can prove it's legit, which is really a cool touch, number one, but also, yeah, it makes it official, authentic, all good stuff. And then, of course, there is the shop Z06, or should I say ZR1. Check that out. The RSC ZR1 wing. I've been back and forth on this, whether or not I would want to do this to my Z06 or not. Let me know what your thoughts are down below, because that's pretty cool looking. Of course, that is their ZR1 wing, which is a really nice looking flat wing. It doesn't curve up or down. It's just really flat, like the deck. I like that. I do like it. It is a very nice looking, of course, in typical RSC fashion, perfect carbon fiber. So, yeah, if you want the ZR1 wing or the Z06 with the 2-inch risers like I have, I mean, you got options, and they're all beautiful carbon fiber. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. So if you liked what you saw, smash the thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content. I am pretty much carbon fibered out on this car, so we have very little carbon fiber to come, but like I said, it is looking good. So if you're interested in anything you saw here in the video, check out the link in the description down below. Of course, you can get it all from Racing Sport Concepts. I'll leave a link in the description down below. If you mention HPO10, you'll actually save 10%, but it's got to be a phone call to get that. So you got to call in, mention that, then you'll get the 10%. Either way, links in the description down below. Thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't. And as always, stay obsessed.